Welcome to The Girl Herd,
where we talk Texas football.
and a bunch of takes you've probably already heard.
But not from us.
Welcome back to another episode of The Girl Herd. Welcome to all of our little herdies. You have me and Michelle again today. It's only a few more weeks until we have our threesome back together when Devin returns from her sabbatical, but fall camp is here. It is upon us. We are 26 days away from the start of the season, and
wild.
Just injected into my veins at this point. I am every ounce of me is tingling for football to be back. We were literally salivating at the mouth watching a preseason NFL game the other day, and it's time. It's time.
True. I know. I feel like I'm counting down to all of the above. I woke up today and I was like, hey, how many more Mondays till Devin comes back and joins us? I'm ready. I miss it.
I know.
And all of us feeding off of each other and all the things that we do. But yeah, I mean, it is wild that it is. I have a bachelorette like right before season starts. And so I'm like counting down to that and getting ready for that. And I thought, oh my God. And then I literally come back and season starting, which is wild.
I know. I keep saying that too. I'm like, okay, I'm taking a whole week off before the fall because it is going to be a mad dash. And I think Devin said this in our chats the other day. It's like game one starts and then we're going to blink and it's going to be the holidays. And that's truly how fall goes for us. It really is the most fun part of the year. And we get to go through cheer on our favorite team and take you guys with us, right? For all the things that we're doing. We're super excited for this year. But I was just reading before we got on here, I got an email from The Athletic and they were talking about all the Senate bills and all of the thing and the Lane Kiffin rule. Have you heard about this?
I have not.
So
tell us.
It's the part of the bill where they're trying to prevent coaches from being able to leave teams while they're in playoffs or all of those things.
Something about this. Yeah.
Yes. And I find it so interesting. I get it, right? Like players can't do this. So then why can the coach when the coach has been with this team and then they're starting to pull and recruit these players from their old team to the new team while they're still playing? And it just creates all of this chaos and blending. I don't even know what you call it. But at the same time, in this article, they were talking about how do you even regulate it, right? Because it might not be the head coach that's now doing these things, but all of his little minions on the side can be doing it. And how do you track it? How do you manage it? How do you enforce it? I was like, this could be a fun little conversation for the pod and for people to chime in because it truly, so many uncharted waters that we're in.
That's what I was going to say. I feel like we're always talking about this and we're giving our opinions and things that are happening and what we feel about this, that, and the other, or if we don't have a feeling. But it's just so interesting that I feel like we're learning as we go still. All these new things that are happening and never happened before. And so then you're all of a sudden well, okay, we're all learning this together and what's going to happen next season. And I mean, I get it. We talked a lot about it. We all love Lane and we followed him and everything he did at Ole Miss, have affiliations with Ole Miss as well. And when he went to leave and in the middle of playoffs, we were like, whoa, wait a minute. Abandoning your team, that's tough. But I mean, there's also something to be said that you got to strike when the iron's hot. He had to do a business decision, a family decision, and that's hard too. But I mean, we've seen this before. I mean, especially in other levels, but I will be curious.
And I think of other areas, right, of employment. When you say you're a high stakes attorney or you're whatever the job is, when you decide to leave, sometimes they don't even give you a 2 weeks. They're you've been working on very classified or whatever information for this company and it now ends, right? Today you're out, turn over all your computers, your security all of the things. So I get that, right? But I feel like there's a moral compass piece to it that then they're trying to regulate, right? Which is kind of
because Lane, in Lane's case, he asked to stay. And they were no, no, you want to leave us now. And again, can get that side too. I think about it too. Like there's a lot happening. I have a friend that just left, my same company. And I think about all the time when we're in sales, like we talked about it 10 years ago, they would take your phone number away. They would like make you leave right then and there. Like you have all these contacts if you're going to a competitor, like whatever it may be. And nowadays it's like, it's a small world. Everyone can get a hold of everyone some type of way. Like it's not even worth it, but still sometimes they'll say different things, or like people will still talk about that. Like, are you going to keep the same number? Are you going to have a different one? And I can, imagine.
Yeah. It's almost like insider trading, right? Like I understand Ole Miss's perspective of like not wanting him to stay in the building and be right. What conversations is he continuing to have with your current roster, right? Is he trying to get them to come with him? Is he, still building those relationships and gonna, whatever it is that he can do.
Yeah.
But
you were even talking about, what was it? It wasn't last pod because that was with Gracie. It must have been the time before when you were like saying that Coach Sark was like, I don't even want other coaches to talk to my players at the end of the game because they're already like starting to talk to them, being like, you want to come over here? I mean, look what happened during the softball games. Like those coaches were like, are you upset that you went over there? Should you have stayed? Like whatever, all that drama that was said to have happened. Allegedly, we'll say that.
Yeah, it really is so crazy. I'm trying to relate this to anything else in life because Mac also said it on their pod of he was on the field. I don't remember what game he said that it was, but one of the like scouting people like from the other team was standing on the sidelines during pregame with a clipboard writing notes. And Mac being Mac just like walked up to him and was like, what you taking notes on? And he was like, your team. Like, that's insane.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And I don't know, it's not coming to me in my head. I don't know what it like is relatable to outside of the sports world. But yeah, it's truly some like Wolf of Wall Street on the football field.
I don't know. Well, the whole thing with like, we talked about Cole Hudson and coming back and having that, 5th year eligibility, and like multiple people were like, isn't this already done? Are people already doing this? I'm like, this is how misunderstood this is. Cause like, no, like it was not approved until like really just happened. Like, cause they were like, okay, we'll let you start practicing with them. You can go back into the facilities, all that, but it still wasn't like for sure he would be playing this year or any person of, 5th year, whatever. And so we're literally learning as we go, but it's
truly paving new roads every day. Yeah.
No.
But talking about like new things, our new little shiny toy on the team, Mr. Cam Coleman, I feel like we'd be amiss to not talk about him breaking the internet the other day. With his glorious one-handed catch into the end zone, which I was dying reading the comments. Truly, run to the comments every time. It will give you all the entertainment you need.
Literally, I mean, nothing to do with football, but I sent a reel to someone the other day, and I was like, this is my algorithm. It's not about the video. It's about the comments.
It is. And I want to read them all scrolling. But somebody was talking about how, oh my God, this is an AI video. I'm like, please. That is so, let's not.
But speaking of like salivating, I can't speak, but getting all excited about football, like that clip went wild. I saw it everywhere. I was like, this is impressive. But of course, everyone wants to come for us and like be like, this isn't that great. He would have got picked off if it was this or that or the other. And you're like, whatever, man.
Would he? Because you're also having to pay attention to our quarterback using his legs, our elite running backs that we now had, and not to mention all the other receiver weapons that we have on the field. So like,
and can we just say that the catch itself was, let's just focus there. Okay.
And can we also, like, we've seen video evidence of him at Auburn, right? Like doing the same thing, going up and beyond, going over a DB, a corner, whoever it is, and making the grab. So like, let's be so for real. It's going to happen at some point. And a DB is going to get embarrassed. A DB is going to get embarrassed. Like,
and we can't wait to see it. But it's so funny. Like everyone's like, his name has been so out there. Everyone's been talking about it. And then they release that video and everyone's like, well, what you got to say now? Huh?
All them donors are like, that's why we gave him all that money.
There's a reason we brought him onto this team.
Yes, truly, which we were talking about earlier too with Corey of like, what do you do when you have this many weapons, but you also paid so much money for these players and they need to produce, because then again, you have the donors coming knocking of like, why did we fork out all these millions of dollars if they're not having highlight reels and on ESPN top 10 every week, you know, like that kind of thing. But I'm interested to see like how Sark really spreads it out with the offense that we have this year and what they're saying that they can be.
Well, I find it exciting, honestly. Obviously, like having the depth, having all these weapons, like things happen so quickly. We've had so many years where we had such good, number one, and then they get hurt or something happens, or like, and I mean, I think about it a lot with wide receivers. Like you could have a hamstring injury, like not like hurt, but like that takes you out for a bit, like there's all sorts of things that can happen. And I mean, it's again, 9 SEC games. You have 12 regular season games. We hope to go the distance. Like you just have no idea. So I always can appreciate the weapons, but I feel like even every time fall camp is talked about, there's a new name that comes up. As someone who like follows the team and knows, I'm like, who? Like,
yeah,
I love
exactly. Which is beyond exciting. Like poor Sark, right? Like what a problem to have that you have so much talent and depth on a team. But I still can get like the worry, right? Because
for sure,
injuries are going to happen and you're going to have to be prepared for them. But I think this is the most prepared they've felt. Like we've talked about so many times, the energy around this team and around Sark just feels so different. And I think it's because they have that like confidence and know like, okay, we have like built. And now we have like the puzzle pieces or the Jenga pieces that are all kind of clicking and forming together. And
you know what Sark's not about to have? I mean, this is like, we have multiple depths, but like speaking of quarterback as well, like quarterback's been a big topic. We're not PTSD, Bama national championship. What was that? 2008, like things like that, where he's, I mean, he's been here when Quinn got hurt. I'm there for all sorts of things. So
I know. And I think one of the other things that's been exciting for me coming out of all of the news media and what's coming out of camp is everything we're hearing about KJ Lacey. And when he's out there, he is moving the ball down the field. And that is so key for us because Arch is great at like explosive plays and getting the ball downfield and utilizing his legs and doing all of those things. But what he's been needing help on sometimes is the shorter passes, right? And so seeing that KJ has that ability, if we are in a bind or if he is short, that we are going to be able to rely on him to continue to move the offense. And I feel like that's something we've missed for a long time, right? Like even when we were in school, it was like your QB1 goes out and
that's what I mean.
SOL.
That's why like every report that I hear about KJ Lacey, I'm like, it's, again, like Sark's like, I am preparing ourselves. We are not having that be.
We're not.
This year will not be on the list of like, what's your nightmare scenario horror movies or whatever. Like
he was like, what pickle we will not be in? QB. QB issue. We're not having it.
There was some media that came out of like Cam catching passes from like multiple different, which awesome.
Yeah, it's great.
I love that they're doing this. Like, and it's good for the receivers too, to like, I mean, everyone throws a little bit differently. What kind of ball are you going to get? Like,
right. And not everybody can be, Joe Burrow and the guys that that went with him to the NFL. Like that is very rare. It's so rare, right? So you better get used to catching a ball from a plethora of options.
Yeah. Ah! I know. All of this news coming out, it's like literally you're hanging on by every word.
Yes.
Here's the real test. This is it, y'all. This is it.
I also can't wait. Like, it's so funny for me to like still see them going into the bubble because we've heard so much about the bubble and like the new practice facility and when it's going to be done. And I can't wait to see them in that facility. The company that I work for outside of podcasting is the structural engineer on the project. So I got to go see it while it was still under construction. And it is spectacular. Like the things they're going to be able to do in that building and just how close it is to Moncrief and not having a bus and do all these things. And it's going to change that program so much. And it's funny to hear, I think it was Mac that was talking about the bubble and like, you can't kick in there. You can't whatever, because the ceiling is not that high. So yeah.
I know it's interesting. Like one of the, I think it was a Wingo catch and they were showing it and he like, it caught the ball and then it went downhill and someone was like, I don't like that downhill after the end zone. I was like, I know exactly where that is.
Don't like it.
Been
Don't
there
like it.
many a times with the practice field outside the bubble. You're just like,
yes. Yeah. And then you go to the concrete ramp. That's like,
literally. And it goes down to a street, to a pretty busy street.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's exciting. I love all the things that are coming their way. And they deserve, I mean, that heat's no joke. So like doing anything that they can to help with a facility and conditioning. Ooh.
I know it really is exciting. But other exciting news outside of the team, the Girl Herd is finally going to be launching merch for this season. We can't tell you exactly what it is going to be yet, but make sure that you stay tuned. Send it to anybody that you know. Make sure that they have alerts on for when we do start dropping stuff. But we cannot be more excited. You know, fashion, game day things is what we live and breathe. So,
yay!
Been a long time coming, but we're excited.
Yeah, we've gotten all sorts of questions. So for all you that have asked, it's happening.
Yay!
Yeah. Okay. Hopefully we'll have more news of that we're salivating over. Can I get that word right?
Yeah.
Next week.
Theme of the day: salivating.
Theme of the day.
See y'all next time.
Bye, guys.